Welcome to the show. I'm Deanne Goss. There is no doubt that becoming and staying healthy has a lot to do with balancing our hormones. But how do we really know what's going on inside? How do I really know what my hormone levels are? Do I need to go to a doctor? Or is this something that I can discover on my own? Well, today we're going to be answering those questions. Our special guest today is women's health expert and natural hormone guru, Jackie Harvey. I'm so excited to have her on the show today. She is my hormone mentor and one of my good friends. She is also the publisher of naturalhormoneguru.com, which is a culmination of her passion to see women everywhere experience health and wellness. Now, before Jackie was a hormone expert, she was an accountant, she was a wife to her husband Jerry, and mother to 7 of their wonderful kids. But one day, she found out that her body was going through some serious changes, and when she consulted traditional medicine, it suggested surgery. But God took her on a different direction, and that different direction, Jackie firmly believes, saved her life, her daughter's lives, and the lives of countless other women. Over the years, she has done hundreds of seminars called Let's Talk About Hormones, and through those seminars, she's educated thousands and thousands of women. She also had the opportunity and the privilege to work alongside Dr. John Lee. He is a best-selling author and one of the world's leading experts in hormones. In working with Dr. Lee, Jackie put together a natural hormone balancing program that helps balance hormones and helps women stay balanced. Along with that, she is an ardent supporter of saliva testing. She has been a tireless advocate for women's natural health for over 30 years. I'd like to welcome back to the show, Jackie Harvey. Welcome, Jackie.
Thank you for having me, Deanne. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, Jackie, I remember when I had my 4th child, Roman, and I went to my doctor for my checkup. And she did all the normal stuff like taking blood. And when I asked her how my hormone levels looked, she said everything looked great. In fact, she was actually amazed at how well I was doing overall for having my 4th kid and my age. But then when I talked to you about it, you suggested that I take a saliva test. Why is a saliva test better at measuring hormones than a blood test?
That's a great question, and one that I'm sure lots of people are asking, including practitioners. A saliva test will evaluate the unbound hormone that's circulating in the bloodstream, and those are the only hormones that are available to receptor sites. A blood test will evaluate all the hormones, including the unbound and the bound hormones, and so in a way that will skew the test. It will make it look like that a woman has plenty of hormones left in her body. Whereas if they would just zero in on the unbound hormone, it would show whether there's a deficiency, whether there's an adequate amount. It's much more specific. So in that, a saliva test is actually more accurate than a blood test.
So let's go back a little bit. What are hormones and what causes them to get out of whack?
It's an amazing thing to me that we as women don't really understand how our body works. And, you know, we've never really been taught to understand it either. All hormones in a woman's body come from, first of all, her ovaries, and secondly, her adrenal glands. There are some that are made in small amounts in the brain. And then the fourth way is in our body fat. I'll come back to that in just a moment. But primarily for women that are young, and by young I mean 20 to 40-year-old, they're still menstruating and ovulating, so estrogen and progesterone and testosterone are produced in a cyclical manner in a regular menstrual cycle. If a woman does not ovulate, does not pop an egg, she is not producing progesterone. So that throws the whole milieu out of balance right away. If she's exposed to too much estrogen in her world, maybe too many chemicals, pesticides, sprays, eating too much soy, those kinds of things will cause an increase in estrogen levels. So her estrogen will be too high. Her progesterone might be too low because of anovulatory cycles. And this continues actually throughout the ages. Perimenopausal women often have low progesterone. Progesterone is the first hormone to decline. Estrogen will ultimately decline to about 60% of normal production, but it never goes down to zero. Progesterone will almost go down to zero. So these hormones that are produced in our body can sometimes betray us. It's not just about hormones that are outside of our body, it's the ones that are within as well.
So we all agree that we need to do a saliva test. So where do I go to get a saliva test? Through my doctor, or is there a better way?
Well, most physicians will not offer saliva testing. They don't understand it. They don't know anything about it. It is becoming more and more accepted amongst the naturopathic and, sort of the auxiliary systems out there. Certainly women know a lot more about it. The internet has been a great tool for us to learn and become very much our own advocates, and that's what we encourage. We don't want to set aside a physician, but one of the things that I do a saliva test every year, and I take mine to my doctor. And I ask my doctor to keep it on file. I say, by all means, take a look at it. If you want me to have a discussion with you about it, I can sort of explain it to you. But I want to have it on file as a record to be kept, because he's not really actively testing my hormone levels as a menopausal woman. And so I want to be able to sort of coach him along the way.
So you mentioned that you do your saliva test once a year. What about someone who's new to this process? When should they take theirs, and how often should they take theirs?
Well, first of all, everyone should start with a saliva test. I think that having a baseline of hormones and an understanding of whether or not you need to move forward with some kind of a program to resolve hormone imbalance. You won't know you have an imbalance until you do a test. So doing a saliva test is the first step for sure. And it's not difficult to do. It's painless, as opposed to going to the doctor and having a blood test where you're being poked and so on. That's not true. And doing a hormone test in the privacy of your own home adds calmness to the whole perspective. And I think that we now know that stress influences hormone levels. So if you can do your test with no stress environment, I think that it will show up a better result.
So once I actually have the test kit in my hand, how do I actually take the test?
Oh, it's very easy to do. Basically, you're going to spit in the tube, little small tubes, 4 times in the day. So you're going to spit before breakfast, before lunch, before dinner, and before going to bed at night. So we take 4 tube spit, if you would, package it up, put it in the freezer, and the next day FedEx will come and pick up the package and take it to the lab. We need to have that at the lab within 2 days so that we can get an effective and reliable test result from that. But it's easy to do. It's not a difficult thing at all.
So I've taken the test and it confirms I am estrogen dominant. Now what?
Everyone is a unique individual as well. So the program that we've outlined will include indoles, it will include perhaps some bioidentical progesterone, it will include making sure that you're eating right, it will involve a little bit of exercise, and it will involve adrenal support. It's an excellent program. We've had such good results with it over the last decade. And I've been working with Dr. Lee's program for more than 20 years in various ways, and we've had great success. All of my daughters have done a part of this and have really, really done very well.
So how quickly would I be able to take another test to confirm that this program is actually working?
Well, usually what we like to do is get together with you on a telephone call after 3 months. And then we recommend that if things are going along smoothly, which we anticipate they will, then at 6 months, do another test. We want you to have a result that confirms that you have resolved issues. It doesn't necessarily mean that you won't need parts of the program, but it will show us that you're on the path to wellness. And then do what I do. I evaluate my hormones every single year. And I do that just to keep tabs. I can monitor by doing a saliva test every year.
Thank you, Jackie. Well, that settles it. Saliva testing is the best way to measure available hormones in your body and the first step to beating estrogen dominance. And to make it ridiculously simple, we've created the perfect program just for you. Simply go to MaxxAlive.com and subscribe to our all-natural hormone balancing program. It comes with everything you need, including what we talked about today, your saliva tests. So go ahead and subscribe today and begin enjoying better health through natural hormone balance. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching this MaxxAlive video. Be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and when you do, hit the bell to be notified every time a hot new video is dropped. Also, log on to MaxxAlive.com to get more information about our natural, proven, and guaranteed program.